Okay, so you know how magicians will do this thing where they take coins and they do all these funny hand movements, and then you're just stuck and it's in these grips and you can't do anything. See, I think these moves are great, but for practicality, they're not very good. So what I try and do is, if I take the coin, I don't do any funny finger movements, and yet I can still make it vanish. We need any card selected, okay? So we'll take the shuffle deck and go ahead and say stop. Let's say you stop me on this card, the Ace of Hearts. I'm going to lose that ace somewhere deep into the center of the pack. We're not even going to shuffle it. Now all I need to do to get the ace to come to the top is just wave my hands like this, and that ace immediately appears on top of the deck. I hate lending pens out because people don't give them back with the lids on, and then you can't do anything with them. Like you can't write or put them in your pocket. But with Sharpies, if you smell them, you can begin to hallucinate. When you hallucinate, you can just imagine that lid reappearing on the pen. The cool thing about this is that you can hand it out immediately to be examined. And stick around for the rest of the video. I'm going to teach you how to make this right now. Yo, welcome to another surprise Saturday. I'm going to teach you how to do 3 simple tricks today that you can start practicing over the weekend. They're all visual, they're all fairly easy to do, and they're all kind of interesting as well. So there's a lot of food for thought for you all. But also, I'm going to announce the winner of the contest from last Saturday. Remember, anyone that shared the video and subscribed to the channel was automatically entered into a draw. I'm going to announce the winner at the end of today's video. So grab yourself a Sharpie, grab yourself a deck of cards, and grab yourself a coin and get ready to learn 3 pretty cool tricks. We need any card selected, okay? So we'll take the shuffle deck and go ahead and say stop. Let's say you stop me on this card, the Ace of Hearts. I'm going to lose that ace somewhere deep into the center of the pack. We're not even going to shuffle it. Now all I need to do to get the ace to come to the top is just wave my hands like this, and that ace immediately appears on top of the deck. So here's how this works. Spread through and have a card selected, then controlled to the top. So in this case, we're going to do the King of Hearts. And I use my Premier control to get it straight to the top. This is based off the Steve drawn circle control with a lot of different touches and nuances added to help fit my style and make it feel a bit more fooling for me. But in short, it works like this. A card selected, so in this case 3 of Hearts. As I bring the deck to chest height, I kick the 3 up, but it comes back slightly first so that it doesn't show over the top. It comes back, and I kick up, and then I square the deck in, and as I do that, my thumb pulls the cards back to line the 3 with the rest of the spread so that it looks more copacetic and like everything's happening naturally. So here, boom. What helps as well is to get a pinky break to do this, and it's lost into the deck. That's phase 1. The second part to this is to make the card appear on top, which looks like that. And the way this works is, as I'm going to square the deck up, I'm going to do a one-handed top palm or a variation on it. So instead of going into a classic top palm, I'm actually going to grip the card between the crease of my index finger and the heel of my thumb, just like that, right? So it allows me to open up the rest of my hand, see? So as opposed to normal classic palm, which I actually can't do, where you'd use your pinky to hold the card, you've got a lot more freedom and stability, and it looks like your hand's empty. Now, because you're in this position, and I'll run over this quickly, so as I'm using my pinky to hit this top corner, to push that card up, and I do that here, it doesn't matter to me about this card showing because I'm coming at this angle, so you can't see it from here. I know it kicks out the side. Right, so as I turn, I'm kicking it over, I'm coming to the side, and now I can spread my fingers and have this really nice, clean, open display. Alright, and really the card's there. Now the next thing is that I'm going to push that card out just like this with my finger, right? So it allows it to rotate essentially from this position all the way around to here, and from this angle you can't see anything. The last thing to do is that as I shake my hand like this, the card is going to become stolen on top of the deck just like that. So when I'm here, I come around, it's going to rotate like this. As I time my shake motion, I'm stealing that card to the top of the deck. At speed from the very top, we have a card selected. gets lost into the deck, no controls, I say. And then watch, all you have to do is shake and it becomes visible on top of the deck. Okay, so you know how magicians will do this thing where they take coins and they do all these funny hand movements, and then you're just stuck and it's in these grips and you can't do anything. See, I think these moves are great, but for practicality, they're not very good. So what I try and do is, if I take the coin, I don't do any funny finger movements, and yet I can still make it vanish. So the way this works is super simple. I play off what the audience thinks is about to happen. I show them the JW grip, right? So from the exposed view, I show them that I'm going to take a coin and place it into JW grip just like this, and then I show that I'm stuck and I got all these angle issues. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play off that. I'm going to show them that I'm going to do the same thing again, but I'm not going to use my fingers. And this time what I do is, as I come up without the hand there, I'm going to pretend to take the coin like this, but really it just rests on my thumb, like that. So I rest the coin on my thumb, but from the front, I can wiggle these fingers and it looks really fair. Now all I do is, with the hand out of the way, I drop my hand down and I cover it at the same time like this. So even from far away, I say, look, there's nothing in my fingers. Watch, and the coin goes. And all I'm doing is I drop this down, it goes into finger palm, and I'm casually resting it and moving it by my side to give that illusion that nothing's there. So I say, watch, magicians do these things where they have all these crazy moves, they make the coin vanish. The problem is they're always like done in these weird ways and they've got to do all this manipulation. I don't like that. What I like to do is to take the coin in my palm, show you I'm doing nothing with my fingers, and now I can make it vanish. And that's a really fun coin vanish that I've been using for years and years and years. And I put it on my Odyssey DVD set, and today I'm sharing it with you guys. I hate lending pens out because people don't give them back with the lids on, and then you can't do anything with them. Like, you can't write or put them in your pocket. But with Sharpies, if you smell them, you can begin to hallucinate. When you hallucinate, you can just imagine that lid reappearing on the pen. The cool thing about this is that you can hand it out immediately to be examined. And stick around for the rest of the video. I'm going to teach you how to make this right now. The method for this is really, really simple. You just need two things. Firstly, a Sharpie, which is pretty obvious. And it's a regular Sharpie, and the coolest thing about this is genuinely at the end you can hand this out immediately. The second thing you need, and it's really simple, even if you don't have any specific to magicians, you can actually make it yourself, get it at home, but it's a tiny loop of invisible thread. If you know me already, then you know that we love using this sort of stuff to help make magic. Now for the video, I'm using a spool of invisible elastic white thread, so you can literally see it obviously on video. If you don't have any invisible thread at home, you can literally take some cotton that's like hanging off like your shirt and strip it down to a fine piece, because all you're doing is holding the weight of a Sharpie lid on it, and that's really nothing at all for it to carry, so you can have a really fine piece of thread from anywhere. But I'm sure all you guys are going to be able to find a tiny piece of thread no matter where you are. Now, what I've done is, a really nice tip is when I'm going to tie this into a loop, and some people really struggle to tie loops, right? So this is, as you can see, this is a little loop of thread. It's trying to wrap itself up in a circle, but it's a loop of thread. A really nice tip is to take a soda ball and wrap the thread around that to tie the loop. Now, you can tie it different lengths and sizes depending on how big your hands are, but with a soda ball, it really, really, really helps you tie it. So I'm going to double it up so you can see even thicker on camera. I'm going to wrap it around my index finger like that, okay? Obviously it's obvious on camera, but you're going to use black thread at home. Or a clearer thread that works better for you, not as thick. And the method for this is so simple, you get way more mileage out of it than you'd imagine. But I'm going to take the lid off the pen, place it here for a second, and what I'm going to do is hook it over the thread, and hopefully you can all see that. Remove my thumb so it's free, and leave it dangling on the back of my hand. Now you'll notice that it's not above the crease in my fingers and it's not coming out the sides of my hand, so from the front I'm like this. And the one thing I'll say is that when you perform this, you want your hands closer to the spectators than to your body, because look how weird this looks, because I don't want to tip it forward. I need to keep my hand sort of at this angle. So when I'm close, this looks kind of odd. It's okay, but when I'm further away, this looks really natural, okay? And that's just to stop your arm from bending up, all right? And the method, it's pretty straightforward. You're going to begin by holding the pen in the dirty hand, because Magic 101, whenever you have something hidden in the hand, in palm or behind the hand, you want to hold another object in it to give the illusion that it's empty. So now you can show this really clean display, because this hand's occupied, so you can be like, well, look, blah, blah. Talk about any pattern that you want to use. For example, like I hate borrowing my pens without people giving the lids back. You can start off by making it vanish as well if you want to, if that's something that interests you, then go into it, but it's not for me. But you start with your pattern. This is hidden. I talk about it. I got quite good movement, and I want to be able to move fairly freely to make people see that I'm not hiding anything, even though I am hiding something. But this is behind my hand, just like that. Boom, boom, boom. I start to talk about showing the pen this way. It's just an example. This is just like a thing that I can do to show that my hands are empty, just turn the pen. The more freedom it looks, the more fair it feels. So the Sharpie's here. Now, when it comes time to make the lid appear, I say I can hallucinate and make the lid appear. And this moment's nice, just here, coming back up. All these motions look natural. All I'm going to do is, I'm going to bring my hand around like this. So, sort of from the side, it's like around in a circle. I don't want to be doing this over here, because I can expose something by accident. I don't want to be doing my timing off, but it's kind of natural if you imagine that you could do real powers, right? It's kind of natural to imagine that is the magic move, right? To go up and over, like that feels magical. That's like a magic feeling gesture. So, but the nice thing about this is, when I turn, I'm gonna kick the Sharpie lid around the heel of my thumb. And if I was out in the open completely, you'd see that, or potentially see that, right? As it drops down. But I'm gonna use this hand as cover to make sure that it's practical in the real world, that I'm actually not going to flash anything. So look at that. Without the hand there, I did this. But because the focus is here at the front, and I've got a nice big shield, I can practically now very easily go from here. Watch, 1, 2. I can come nice and slow, and from the exposed view, I'm just doing this so you can get my hands in frame. But I'm here. Okay, the pen's on the back of my hand. Then I come around and it's dangling. And look at the position of that pen lid. It's hidden on the knuckles of my hand with the lid pointing towards the ground. So now what I'm going to do is, as I come up, so I'm right here, show my hand empty, come down, flip it around. As I come up, I'm literally just going to aim. And you can time this nice, but it's really easy because this point is tiny and the hole's bigger. I can come down, hit the lid onto the pen. Now watch the cool part. This is the bit that I like the most. The pen's not all the way down tight, but that's okay, because if you look as close as possible, watch the thread. As I come down, that thread will just come off. It just comes off the pen. Boom. And now I'm completely clean. Just like that. The cleanup, I'd say, is that, because this lid is not pushed all the way down, the cleanup is I just go and pretend that it's on there and then place it. Pretend it's all the way down. So I just literally take it off, really. I just go 1, you can see it's on there, and I wedge it down and hand it to them. This is on my finger. You could either flick this off, or, like, no one's looking at it anyway, there's no heat on your hand. And that's it, you're clean. It's really, 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 really that simple. So, from the top, and I'll do this as an over the shoulder view, and I'll do one more performance to you guys, is from, let me see the best angle for you, from here. I hate lending out my Sharpies because people don't give them back with the lids on. You can see it gets everywhere, but the cool thing is if I smell it, I can begin to hallucinate. When I hallucinate, I can actually imagine that lid materializing back onto the pen, and you can keep the pen. That's it, the exposed view from the front. Let me show you. I hang that over my thumb just so I can get the setup. Like this. Boom, 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 boom. Boom. Now, I hate lending my pens out because people don't give them back. You can't write them, but if you smell, you can start to hallucinate. When you hallucinate, you can actually imagine the lid appearing just like that on the pen, and you can go ahead and keep it. And that is the tutorial for the appearing Sharpie lid. I knew I wouldn't do it. I knew I'd drop it. I hope you all enjoyed learning those tricks today. Like I said, they're pretty straightforward. They're pretty simple. They do require a bit of practice in terms of timing and a mounted sleight of hand, but they're not too crazy hardcore. Either way, I hope you all enjoyed it, and if you want to show me some love, then please subscribe to the channel, and if you want to be super kind, then share this video and get your friends to subscribe too. That's all I ask. Now, drum roll please. Brrr. The winner from last Saturday's contest is a guy called Sean Hawk, who shared the video and tagged me on Facebook. Sean, if you drop me a message through Facebook, then I'll get your details and I will ship out the gimmick, the actual gimmick, to your front door. Thank you all so much. Now remember guys, tune back in on Tuesday for Tutorial Tuesday, where we'll be announcing the winner of Tuesday's competition at the same time. So until next time folks, I'll see you all tomorrow for the live Sunday session with special guest Bo Kramer. We'll be going to have a great creative jam because he's a creative genius, and I'll see you all in about 24 hours.